How did your parents fail you? When I was 8, my brother Noah was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Our parents promised they'd help him manage it together, teach him to be independent with his insulin. The first month, they were amazing. Dad learned to count carbs. Mom researched everything about blood sugar. They turned our kitchen into a health food paradise. Then one morning, I found Noah passed out in the bathroom. His blood sugar had dropped dangerously low overnight. I called 911 while trying to force juice into his mouth like the paramedics had shown us. Our parents were both sleeping in after a late party. By the time the ambulance arrived, Mom stumbled out in her robe, reeking of wine. Dad didn't even wake up. The EMTs exchanged looks when Mom slurred her words, trying to explain she just needed one night off from checking Noah's sugar. After that, everything changed. I started sleeping in Noah's room, setting alarms every 2 hours to check his levels. I was exhausted at school, but my teachers just thought I was being lazy. Nobody knew I was up all night keeping my little brother alive. Mom and Dad got worse. They'd forget to refill his insulin prescriptions until the last minute. They'd send him to school with lunch money instead of the carefully planned meals he needed. They started forgetting his doctor appointments. I learned to forge Mom's signature by practicing for hours. I had to. Noah's school needed parent signatures on his daily glucose logs. I memorized their social security numbers to call the pharmacy. I learned to lie about my age over the phone, deepening my voice to sound like Dad. One night when Noah was 10, his blood sugar skyrocketed to dangerous levels. We needed a backup insulin pen, but Mom and Dad were at a concert. Their phones were off. I called 7 times before giving up. I walked Noah 2 miles to the emergency room at midnight because I was too scared to wait. The nurses knew us by name at that point. One of them pulled me aside and asked if everything was okay at home. I lied and said our parents were just working late, but she didn't believe me. She'd seen us there too many times, always alone. She called CPS that night. The investigation revealed years of medical neglect. The social worker found drawers full of expired insulin, missed appointment notices, unpaid medical bills. She discovered Mom and Dad had been spending Noah's health insurance payments on trips to Vegas. When they interviewed my parents, Mom broke down crying about how hard it was having a broken child. Dad complained about how expensive diabetes supplies were, even though their combined income was over $200,000. The final straw came during a home visit. The social worker found empty liquor bottles hidden in my parents' closet, along with cocaine residue. She asked them to take a drug test. They refused. I was 13 when we went to court. Noah was terrified we'd be separated into foster homes. But our Aunt Libby, Mom's sister, stepped forward to take custody of us both. The judge reviewed 3 years of medical records, every late-night ER visit, every prescription refill, every glucose log. She asked my parents basic questions about Noah's care, his insulin ratios, his carb counts, his A1C levels. They couldn't answer any of them. I could recite them all from memory. The judge granted Aunt Libby full custody that day. 5 years later, Noah's thriving. His diabetes is perfectly controlled. He's on the swim team, gets straight A's. Aunt Libby taught him to manage his own care, but she's always there double-checking, just in case. Last month, Dad showed up at my graduation. He was drunk, crying about how much he missed us, how sorry he was, how he'd changed. I watched him stumble back to his car and thought about all those nights I stayed awake, terrified Noah wouldn't wake up, about forging signatures and lying to doctors and walking to the ER in the dark. I took Noah's hand and walked away while Dad called after us.